Ever wondered why C++ is such a popular language for computer programming? Well, the answer lies in its versatility and power. It's the language of choice for many software developers, game designers, and system programmers worldwide. Why? Because C++ offers a unique blend of high-level and low-level features, providing the programmer with unprecedented control over the system's hardware while still offering the convenience of high-level programming abstractions. Whether you're building the next blockbuster game or designing complex software systems, C++ can be your go-to tool. But the relevance of C++ goes beyond its professional use. For beginners stepping into the programming world, learning C++ can be a solid foundation. It introduces fundamental programming concepts that are applicable across many other languages. So, ready to dive into the world of C++? Great! You're about to embark on an exciting journey. Scene script. C++, like any other language, has its own structure and syntax that we need to understand. Diving into the basics of C++, the structure of a typical program starts with the inclusion of necessary libraries. These libraries, such as the I/O stream, provide us with functions and tools that we can use in our code. The next essential part of a C++ program is the main function. This is the heart of our program, where the execution begins. The main function is typically followed by a pair of curly brackets. Within these brackets is where we write our logic, our instructions for the program. At the end of each instruction, we use a semicolon. This semicolon is like a period at the end of a sentence. It tells the compiler that we've finished our thought, our instruction. Now let's talk about variables and data types. A variable is like a container. It holds values that we can use and manipulate in our program. These values can be of different types, such as integers, characters, or even floating point numbers. In C++, we need to specify the type of value a variable will hold. This is known as declaring a variable. The basic syntax for writing a simple program in C++ involves combining these elements. First, we include our library at the top. Then we declare our main function. Inside the main function, we declare our variables, assign values to them, and write our logic. Each instruction is ended with a semicolon. Finally, we close our main function with a curly bracket. Understanding the structure and syntax of C++ is just like learning the grammar of a new language. It might seem a bit overwhelming at first, but with practice, it becomes second nature. Now that we have a basic understanding of C++, we can start writing our first C++ program. Writing your first program can be quite thrilling. So how about we write a program to display "Hello World"? To begin, we'll need a text editor or an integrated development environment, also known as an IDE. For simplicity, let's use an IDE. With a new file open, we're ready to start coding. The first line of our program is going to be #include. This line tells the compiler to include the I/O stream library, which we'll use to output our message. The next line is using namespace std. Namespaces prevent naming conflicts by organizing code into separate logical units. The std namespace includes features of the C++ standard library, like count, which we'll use shortly. Now, we're ready to define our main function, which is the entry point for every C++ program. We'll write int main. The int means this function returns an integer, typically 0 to indicate the program ran successfully. The parentheses hold any parameters, but for our purpose, they'll be empty. Inside the main function, we'll write count and lulti, hello world. Count is a stream used for output, and the and laut operator sends the string hello world to that output stream. The semicolon signifies the end of the statement. Finally, we'll write return 0 and close the main function with a closing brace. The return 0 statement signifies that our program has ended successfully. So our complete code will look like this. Once you've written your program, the next step is to compile it. This process translates your code into a language your computer can understand. After successful compilation, you can run your program and voila! You'll see Hello World displayed. And there you have it. You've just written and executed your first C++ program. Congratulations! Your journey into the world of programming has officially begun. Output. As a beginner, it's common to make mistakes, but don't worry, errors are a part of the learning process. In your C++ journey, you'll likely encounter 3 types of errors: syntax errors, runtime errors, and logical errors. Syntax errors are like grammatical mistakes in your code. They might be missing semicolons or mismatched brackets. Your compiler will catch these and refuse to run your program until they're fixed. Runtime errors, on the other hand, occur while your program is running. They can be caused by things like dividing by zero or trying to access a non-existent array element. Your program will crash, and often the system will give you a message about what went wrong. Lastly, logical errors. These are the sneakiest. Your program runs, but it doesn't produce the expected output. This could be due to incorrect conditions in your if statements or loops not iterating the right number of times. Debugging is key to finding and fixing these. Remember, every error is a learning opportunity, so embrace your mistakes and keep learning. With the basics of C++ under your belt, you're off to a great start. We've journeyed together through the introduction to C++, explored the basic concepts, and even written our first program. We've also peeked into some common errors that can crop up in your code and how to troubleshoot them. But as with any language, fluency comes with practice. So I encourage you to roll up your sleeves and dive into writing more C++ programs. Try your hand at crafting simple programs at first. Maybe a program that calculates the area of a circle, or one that sorts a list of numbers. Remember, every line of code you write is a step closer to mastery. So don't be discouraged by errors or roadblocks. They're all part of the learning journey. Keep practicing, and soon you'll be fluent in C++. Happy coding!